can you see this person's perspective,
Right.
but can you see beyond this barrier that is in front of you right now? And we do get to that place of gratitude and actually appreciation. Now, it takes us refusing to stay in a victim mindset in order to do that.
We are not in a victim mindset, but we put ourselves into mindsets all the time. And hi, everybody. It's launch date time. We're here live today.
We are. Welcome back. There we go.
And today we're unpacking a heavy suitcase, the secret suitcase that's heavy. We don't ever talk about functional anxiety. It came from a post on Transcending Turbulence on Instagram this morning and on your Facebook page, Terry. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
It hit home because if anybody realizes what's going on right now and they go, what is this that I'm feeling? We've had a heavy year and it's continued. We thought, I mean, we're over the halfway point.
Sure.
For another year. And so
Right.
literally this has been heavily weighing on us, and the functional anxiety
has kicked into full gear.
It is. And we don't want to talk about it much, but I'm going to read through this along
Sure.
with you. High functioning anxiety. What you see is I'm a helpful person. Sometimes something will go wrong if I don't do everything myself. Okay, I might be guilty. Organized. I'm definitely not this. My mind frequently jumps to the worst case scenario and I feel out of control if I'm not prepared. Hardworking. I'm not naturally talented or intelligent, so I need to work harder than everyone else. Detail oriented. I'm fearful of being blamed and criticized if I make even the smallest mistake. A yes person. If I say no, I'll be letting people down. The self-sufficient person. If I ask for help, people will think I'm not good enough. The active person. I don't know how to switch off and relax without feeling guilty. And the confident person. Sometimes I chatter out of nervousness, then overanalyze everything I've said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you recognize yourself in any of those people,
you in the right spot.
We're going to talk about that today. Terry, what is anxiety?
Well, anxiety is a nervous system response to the body. So we get triggered by an ability to worry about the future. Most people will say depression comes from the past. Anxiety comes from the future. The future is things that we may or may not be able to control. So anything that feels out of control for us, we can become fear-based or anxious about. Panic disorder and anxiety disorder are two completely different things, but we marry them together because they travel. They're good traveling companions. But anxiety can take over, and it can be a feeling. You can have tunnel vision. You can have what I call the Charlie Brown teacher, where it's like wah 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 wah. When you're hearing someone talk, you have heart racing. You can have a dry mouth. It can literally make you nauseous to want to throw up. You know,
all those things are what we're unpacking today. Elizabeth is joining us. She said that she saw your list this morning and it made her jaw drop. And Wayne is here. Good morning. How are you doing? And he said his jaw dropped too when he saw it. So I think that was a big spotlight onto the inside of us that we are afraid to even talk about. Fear and anxiety also married together because we fear the unknown. I was raised by a worrier. Mama Pat is a worrier. And I said, Mama, but you don't worry things better. She goes, I know, but I feel like I am.
Right. Well, and you know what? A lot of people will say, and I hear a lot of people tell me, well, I'm just a worrier. That's, my whole family does that. I'm just a worrier. And I'm like, you're a worrier by choice. There are ways to get around that and to navigate through that. But sometimes it's just people are comfortable and familiar in that space,
And there are things that pop out of anxiety, procrastination being one of them. And I go, well, being untidy. disorganized or whatever, because if I look outside this, if I clean this out, I'm going to have to face whatever the fear is.
Self-sabotaging. If we're anxious about something, we can find a way to sabotage the situation or the experience so that we don't actually have to do it.
Ooh.
And then it's, it's not our fault.
It's something else. It's something else. It's the other
You
problem.
see the little thought bubbles in my head up there, like. Boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at this list again. Helpful, organized, hardworking, detail-oriented, a yes person, self-sufficient, active, confident. Those are all things that sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all, when we call the highly functioning, anxious person, that's that suitcase of mental illness that we put it in ourselves, and we hide it. And we hide it behind a banner of, but I am so efficient.
Right. I'm efficient. The one thing about being efficient, about people thinking, the one caption on there is that it says that people will think I'm not good enough. Most people don't worry that people think they're not good enough. It's that they're not smart enough or they're not capable. Because we as a society, when we say I'm not good enough, that falls into a different mindset arena than being capable and being able to manage something. And any time we reach out for support is a good thing. It is a good thing. We're being kind to ourselves when we reach out for support and for assistance or guidance.
The people that are watching, here's the thing. This anxiety, this secret anxiety, the secret heavy suitcase that we carry, we hide it behind the label of, I'm really good. I'm a good person. And I think everybody really wants to be a good person. I want to be the one who helps someone with their problems. I'm a raging codependent, and I'm speaking for myself, but we can solve the problems of the world. Therefore, anything that is deficit in me, nobody will see that because I'm so good at helping other people.
Right.
We cannot make up for something that is a guilt that we carry, a past mistake, something within us. We cannot make up for something in the past by being overly anxious and efficient. We can't make up for it by doing something for somebody else. We just can't. We got to deal with what we carry.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Think of it like this. If anxiety was on a wrecking ball, right? And it's just sort of swinging, and it's inside us, and it's on a wrecking ball, and it's swinging and it's swinging. All the things that we don't have control over, or that we are not good enough at, or that we really do need help, but we just cannot bring ourselves to ask someone because what will they think? I've got the deadline person that waits to the very last minute to hit that deadline, and then they question whether or not it was good enough, or all of those things,
right?
All of those unfinished things. If that wrecking ball in there was a magnet, and that anxiety is just sort of swaying, it's not really destroying anything, but you recognize that it's there. The minute it picks up that first, if all of those unresolved things, if all those issues were magnets, and it sweeps, it grows and it grows and it grows. And pretty soon a full-blown anxiety attack will mimic a panic attack. It's a few notches down, but people will think they're having a heart attack. Their chest will tighten. They can't breathe. These are all things that are so easily, and I say easily, adjusted with tools to do that. Breathing exercises, visual exercises to stimulate the sensories so that anxiety doesn't run amok. But we become so comfortable with the anxiety that who has time to do breathing, right?
Because we get addicted to the adrenaline rush.
Absolutely.
And I will tell you, sometimes making myself late for something, that anxiety brings on this adrenaline rush, and I push it, and it's the uncomfortable that we become comfortable with. Okay,
Absolutely.
Wayne, I think it's because we're trying to predict what will happen so we are prepared, even though we don't exactly know what will happen in the future. I love that. And then Joe Rucker. Hi, Joe. I'm either a worrier or a warrior. There's no in between with me.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I will speak to what Wayne just said. Here's the thing. Rather than trying to, when we get in that place and we find that we need to predict what's going to happen so that we can be okay, working on being okay so that whatever comes our way, we're still regulated, we're still grounded, and we're still okay. We might get a little prickly every once in a while. It might knock us, off balance a little bit, but we're more like a weeble wobble, right? We get knocked off balance and it takes us just a minute to kind of get grounded again, rather than just being obliterated. And then we worry, we're more anxious, and the litany continues, because those little traveling partners, run down the street and just grab all those other deflating emotions.
Right. Exactly. And then let's talk about what Joe brought up. Worrier, warrior, no in between. The black, the white, the yin, the yang.
But there's an in between. We just aren't familiar with it. And usually it's because it's been modeled to us that there's the yin, the yang, there's the warrior, and there's no in between. We just have to find it. There's a bridge there. There is a bridge in between warrior and warrior. But we do become, the warrior sets the stage for the warrior.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's good. That's good.
And then once the warrior shows up, then the warrior sets the stage for the warrior. What did I do? Or for the warrior, what did I do wrong? I don't know. It's a cycle. So we have to work to find that bridge, because somewhere in between the two, there is a comfy, cozy resting place that, Joe, you can kick your feet up and just relax and know that the cycle is going to happen, but you're not going to be bound to one or the other. There's a balance there.
Yeah. For me, I cannot control this. It's very serenity prayer for me. I cannot control this. I am not pulling the strings on the weather. I am not pulling the strings on health.
Right.
Really, truly. And those are some things that we've been very anxious about. Elizabeth brings this. I like to figure out what's going to happen so I can head it off at the pass.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go for it. I see that look, the Terry look.
I know. And Elizabeth's going to message me later and go, What if what you're heading off is actually a beautiful gift? Then we head it off, and then we don't get to experience that.
Yeah.
And in that particular sentence that Elizabeth just shared, I see a lot of that in people in relationships. I like to figure out what's going to happen so that I can head it off. And how that translates in relationships is, I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen, which means I'm assuming that this is going to happen. So then I'm going to head that off. And then they will start a sabotaging cycle so that relationship or that whatever that was really sweet and precious and tender suddenly is inflamed and hot and prickly. And then there it goes.
Yeah. I'm so sure the other person will cheat that I'm going to make sure I figure it out. I'm going to watch every move they make. I'm going to micromanage their schedule. I'm going to look at what they're doing. I'm going to ask leading questions to make sure they're not cheating on me. And pretty soon that distrust translates into they're cheating on me.
Well, and here's the other thing. I'm sorry. My puppy just came in with a cherry tomato that he must have picked off of the bush outside. What? The brain is going to it will seek to validate the belief. It will seek to validate the belief.
Ooh, that's good. Write that down, everybody. Your brain will seek to validate the belief. If you believe someone based on your past experiences that someone will be unfaithful, that someone will use, that someone whatever, it doesn't matter.
Anything. If you woke up this morning in Nashville and it was raining and you got up out of bed and you went, oh, gosh, it's raining. It's going to be a crappy day. And then you get to your car and you're like, oh, these people are idiots driving, blah, 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 blah. You're going to miss the flowers that just happen to be blooming outside the car. You're going to miss the kids waiting to get on the bus that were laughing and giggling and just, you just sort of caught a glance of them and it hit your little happy button for a second. We're going to miss those things because the brain is going, yeah. What else can I find to prove to you that today is a bad day? We do it in relationships. We do it with self-talk. We do it with preparing to, I'm not saying not to be aware and mindful of things that are unfolding in your life, but
Well, there are so many times that we create, and the word that I hear thrown about a lot is self-fulfilling prophecy. Our words have power. One of my favorites is, I am old. Oh, I'm just getting so old. Oh, yay. Those things are self-fulfilling prophecies. And I don't use that O word ever. I go, no, we're not going to use that. Candy joins us. She has really been dealing with it. She's got some more to add to this, but when we'll get to that, she's been in Waverly. She and Elizabeth both have been helping. Elizabeth helping Taylor, Lynn, and with the folks in Waverly, but also Candy is in Waverly. She watched her storage unit get obliterated and everything just leave. And so let's go to what she has to offer right now. Sure. I don't like to figure out what's going to happen in a relationship. I will trust them from the get-go because they are not the other person who did XYZ. So I like to live just each day, see where the new relationship goes. That's a healthy tool.
Absolutely. I hear people say all the time, you got to earn my trust. And that's because they don't say it to me, but they probably think it when they come in my office. But and that's okay. That's okay because they are responding to their life experiences. Candy has a different way of responding to those experiences, which is a healthier, more productive, solution-based way of thinking. Because if you're in the mindset that somebody has to earn your trust, you're constantly going to be watching for them not to show up and earn your trust instead of just trusting and having open dialogue and having conversations and checking your own BS when you are feeling like I toned that down. Did you see how I did that? I said BS instead of bullshit. So I just blew it out of the water just then. But, holding yourself accountable, I'm not going to think that the next apple that grows on the tree is rotten because the last one had a worm in it. It's a whole different apple.
Yeah. Absolutely. Elizabeth, here's something good. I feel together so much of the time, but those I'm not good enoughs really creep in. Takes me back to the days when I lived in complete shame. Okay. That is a heavy secret suitcase of anxiety. I'm not good enough.
Fact over feelings. We talk about that a lot with our facts, challenging that and challenging it in a loving way. Because we will. You have that moment where it's suddenly, things have been really good. And even on a superficial level, we still feel pretty good. But somewhere underneath, there's that stirring. And we can start, just like Elizabeth said, like just getting in that space of, and you to recognize it as soon as you feel it and challenge it, lovingly challenge it. I'm not saying, slam yourself up against the wall and, go to spar with yourself, but challenge it. I'm feeling like I'm not good enough, but is that true? No, it's not true. I am good enough. Look at all the work I've done. Look at my, look at the healing I've had. Look at whether it's, look at how great I've managed my budget. Look at my sobriety. Look at how wonderful my kids have turned out. Look at my loving friends. They're reflecting back what they see in me.
Or you look at Elizabeth and I, we go, look at our cute cats.
There you go. There you go.
But that says a lot. It really does.
Absolutely.
Joe, it's hard for me to let go and let God, especially if I'm geographically removed from a traumatic situation. In my case, it's my sister's recent stroke.
Mm.
I can't fix it. I can't be in the hospital with her, but my brain kicks my butt for not being able to fix it. It's so hard to let go. I know there's nothing I can do but pray, but it's difficult to shut my brain off.
Absolutely. And that can be a challenge. And first, I want to say, I hope that your sister, I hope that she is comfortable. I hope that whatever, whatever her diagnosis and prognosis is, I hope the best for her. And I know that it's hard when you have a sibling, a family member, a partner, husband, wife, whatever, that's not doing well, because it is a very helpless feeling.
The thing that sometimes it is difficult for us to do, and especially people who it's like, God, I'm praying and God, please answer my prayer. God always answers our prayer. It's not always the answer we want. There are things that are difficult. And sometimes my prayer is that God, help me be good with your decision. God, help me flow with the decision, because you see things in a big way. And truthfully, and I know that a lot of people don't know that Terry and I actually met over a grief issue. When I lost my dad, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. And he was fairly young when his first attack happened. He had a brain aneurysm at 57, another one at 67, and then 6 more years of that. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't quit my job and go back down there. I didn't have the resources. There were so many things that were out of my control, which is where Joe is right now. They're out of your control. Help me be good with being out of, I don't control this.
Right. Well, and it's not ours to control.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, Devin, when I hear, like, when you're reflecting on that and saying, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. That's a lot. That's where a lot of us go. We go into that. I can't do anything about this situation, but that's actually not true. We can hold space. We can hold space. It's shifting the brain, right?
Okay.
We're getting out of, I'm out of control of this, and there's nothing I can do, to solution-based thinking. I can check on them. I can let them know they're loved. I can, I just had a client the other day, said to me, there's nothing I can do. I feel helpless. There's nothing I can do. And I said, you could organize a food train. You could have someone go over and cut their grass. There are things we can do, but they're not things that we think of, because the brain goes into, you need to fix it, take it away, make it right. But some things we can't fix, we can't take away, and we certainly can't make right. So, so we can slip into, what can we do? And if we're at that place where we literally are like, there is nothing I can do, then talk to your loved one, or talk to whomever it is in your thought. Have a conversation with them, send them love, visit with them, even if you're visiting them cross country.
Gotcha.
We can have, I had conversations with my grandmother all the time. She's been gone for 35 years. I can't change that, but I have some really good conversations with her, and I laugh, and probably people might think I'm crazy, and that's okay. I probably am on some level, but I think we all are. So, and I think that's a beautiful thing,
It is.
So, but it helps our heart heal.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have to trust, on whatever ability that we can trust, that things are unfolding for them as easily as they can.
So this is writing down I can't fix it, but there's always something I can do. I may not be able to fix it, but there's always something I can do. That helps with the anxiety that we carry around. It's like, well, what can I do? Okay. The first thing is pray. And we put that on. Yeah, well, I prayed for them, but putting yourself in that place of, I can't fix this. This is out of my realm. But for us, for the believer that puts that in God's capable hands, God does have capable hands, and he can always do something. Now, what happens with the anxiety of God doesn't fix it either?
Right. I just started to say, there are a lot of folks out there who have been through some pretty horrific pain.
Mm-hmm.
And many, many, many of those folks, it has shifted the way that their relationship with whatever their higher power is.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they don't pray anymore. So that's where I'm saying, have a conversation with your loved one.
Mm-hmm.
You can send thoughts. You can start to reconcile that. We have a choice. We can't control a situation, but we're not controlling the situation if we bounce off into the mindset that, well, I'm not going to pray because, I'm let down and I don't believe in da 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 da. That's fine. Don't believe in whatever you don't believe in, but don't go down a rabbit trail. Stay focused. What can I do? What
Mm-hmm.
can I do?
What do I believe in?
Right. My daughter will tell you, can't never could do nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's true. Right.
Yeah.
So, what can I do? Now, some people, they're programmed and they're going to be like, I can yell, scream, I can bitch about this, I can da-da-da. You sure can. That's
Mm-hmm.
your choice. You sure can. But is that solution-based thinking? Is it going to help you feel better in the long run?
Yeah. Candy, I trust from the beginning that if it's broken, you have to figure out how to deal with it. Absolutely. Serenity prayer, Elizabeth said, is my mantra. Joe, I'm so sorry for your sister. Her medical team are in my prayers. Brenda, I get that.
Yeah.
A lot of folks jumping in to pray for
Yes.
you, your sister. John, thank you so much. You ladies are beautiful inside and out. God bless you. Thank you so much for that. Elizabeth, we need to be okay doing what we can do rather than fixing the whole darn thing at once. Yeah, be okay with that.
Well,
you know what?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're not Superman. We're not that. I mean, those comic book characters, we want to put the big S on our chest and go, I can do this. I can handle all of this and carry this weight on my shoulders, and look how strong I am and what I've done.
Right. And that makes it all about us and takes away the other person's experience to learn and grow or heal. Or I know Devin didn't like that one.
Ding, ding, ding.
But it does, right?
Yeah.
I know someone who recently had a loved one that was incarcerated. And their first thought process was, well, this must be a mistake. I'm going to go bail them out and it's all going to be good. This is unfair, da 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 da, yada, yada, yada. Turns out, after a conversation or a few, they decided, you know what? I'm not going to do that. And their loved one was incarcerated in jail for a couple of months. And when they got out, and by the way, this is not a client. When they got out, the loved one said, that saved my life.
Wow. Yeah.
I've made some choices and I'm going to go down a different path now. And it has been several months now, and they are still, it has been, well, I say several months. It's been 2 months to several months. If you're considering the path you're going down, it's, every day is a victory. So it has changed the way that they show up. It has given them an opportunity to not only see themselves, but see their ability. And so had family ran in and rescued because I need to fix this,
right,
then they would probably be fixing this over and over and over, which is not about their loved one. It's about their need to feel fulfilled.
Candy, I was a fixer, but I've learned over the years that I had to just turn things over to God, then try to let go of it. I can't fix everything, and I'm not supposed to. That's where we go. I'm not supposed to fix everything. Everybody's got their journey. And we take away their chance to learn if we try to go in there and change the course of the action.
The other
Parents
thing
are that way a lot. Parents can step in. I'm gonna fix this for them.
Well, and a fixer, if we're really not careful, becomes an enabler real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking about parents. Then we have adult children that are in their 20s and 30s, and they don't know how to hold a job. They don't know how to do a lot of things. And it's because they don't know how to process their pain,
Mm-hmm.
because everything has been fixed for them rather than supported. Big difference in supporting someone through something and running in and fixing it for them.
I don't want them to make a mistake. I don't want them to make the mistakes I did. Well, guess what? How did you learn?
Well, and again, that's us making it about us. I can feel the throat punch right now.
Yosemite Sam. I haven't had an anxiety panic attack for decades, Elizabeth says. I resonate so much with the how it feels on the list, but don't feel like I'm anxious compared to those old anxiety attacks. That is improvement.
Absolutely.
That's growth.
Process. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Candy, and God may not fix it because it's not the right thing for that person. And even that I've had to be okay with. Sometimes unanswered prayers are the best thing that could ever happen. That's true. Mm-hmm. I've been to my class reunion. Nothing against y'all, but sometimes you go, wow, did I dodge a bullet? Elizabeth, I've always thought of anxiety as a physical thing mostly, but it's really body, mind, spirit.
Well, it is, Elizabeth, a physical thing because of the physical sensations of where it hits in the body, right? When we're activated and we feel those physical sensations, it first and foremost shows up for us. That's when we recognize it. We don't really recognize it when we're moving into it. Sometimes it's not until we're activated that we're like, that hurts, or that's I need to numb this quick because I don't like the way it feels. It's unfamiliar and I need this to go away. So if we sit with it and we figure out why it's making us anxious, then we can resolve the issue around that and still be able to be a self-healer, still be able to be a self-carer, still be able to be kind to ourselves.
Amen. Amen. Lucretia, watching down in Texas. OMG, I'm such a fixer. I've learned not to enable, but I can't help myself when it comes to helping or fixing. I know that. I feel your pain, girl. I feel it. And we think we're fixing. That's the other thing is we think that we're fixing the situation, and sometimes we're not.
Yeah. Well, and because there are, whether we want to say there are lessons to learn, there's experiences to be had. None of us really want to see anyone that we care about, or even people we don't care about. People, I don't mean don't care about, but people that we don't know, that we see on TV or whatever. None of us really, by and large, sit around going, I don't care about those people. I don't care about that. We generally, by nature, want to help. Right.
That's who we are.
There's a difference in helping and supporting and fixing. I can support someone through putting or guide someone through putting a bicycle chain on a bicycle. But if I run in and I say, let me do that for you. Let me do this for you. Then they walk away. And we actually take away an ability for them to have self-esteem, to have confidence, to have whatever it is for themselves, to know that I can do that. My daughter actually just moved into her first home. She bought a home, and I was changing she bought deadbolts and locks and all that stuff. And the first thing she said to me is, can I watch you do the front door so I can do the back door? And I thought, yes, you can. Because to me, that's a guiding, that's a helping. Now, the mama in me, I wanted to do it all because I didn't want her to have to do it. And I feel so special if I did that. No. But I digress. I allowed her, I honored her wishes.
Ooh, that's Practicing what you preach. That's
Yeah.
important. And Elizabeth says, Terry going to be beat up after this show today.
I know. I can feel you coming for me, Elizabeth.
Woo, Lord have mercy. And Joe, this is going to be our last live comment. And if you're watching on the replay, put your comments there, because I know Terry is really good about going back and answering those questions. And we'll give you, we're going a little over today. So this is a big suitcase. And so we might have to talk a little bit more anxiety this week. What do we do about folks who try to fix us when we don't care to be fixed their way?
Boundaries, baby. Joe, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. That's what we do. And that means, and a lot of times people are like, boundaries are so rigid. They're so just in your face. They're just so, having a conversation, I appreciate your help, but and some people are going to push it and push it and push it, and you're going to have to give a little resistance back. But walking away from setting a boundary when someone's trying to fix something that you don't need to be fixed because you're trying to work it out your way, tell them that. And if they say, well, it'd just be easier if you just do this, it might be easier for them, but you prefer to do it your way.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes on a lot of different things, and if you guys, yes, if you leave comments, you want to, we'll respond to that stuff. If you have something you don't want on a comment, message Devin or I, either one, and we'll get back with you,
And one of the things that I encourage people, Terry taught me this, and this is something important. One, I know you're saying this because you love me, and thank you for that. And I accept that love, and I appreciate you. Two, I bless you and I release you.
Right.
I bless you and I release you. Now that can be said in person more often than not. Those times that the people will not quit trying to fix you because they don't want to fix themselves or don't want to look at their own stuff. If we're a mess, we're easy. Right. We get to be the focal point of someone who doesn't want to take care of their own stuff, or a person who is a mess becomes the focal point for us, not wanting to deal with our own. That's what this is about. Functional anxiety, the do-gooders. Right. You can literally print out that list and go, am I doing this? Be honest with yourself. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one, Terry does this every day at Transcending Turbulence. You can find her there. Give them some more ways they can reach out to you, Terry.
Well, Instagram, Transcending Turbulence. The easiest way is to go to terrypugh.com, TERIPUGH.com, because that's got all the social media platforms there. You can click on a button and find me, or you can email me, or you can call me. I'm easily accessible.
Well, thanks so much. Janet says these messages have helped so much. That's wonderful. And Brenda says, thank you. We are glad that you guys are here. And Elizabeth says, Lordy, my head is spinning today. I just love our Wednesdays together. This opens up a can of worms, but it's okay. They're just worms and we deal with it. Fish, fish, go fishing.
That's right. That's right.
And Lucretia, great show. And Tim, thank you, ladies. Great topic. So helpful. Love y'all. We love you too. We love each and every one of you. You can reach me by sending me a message wherever you're watching this show, private message. Joyce says they've surely helped me. Thanks, girls. Oh, that's just wonderful. Follow us on Instagram at Launch Date Show. You can follow us here. And if you follow us and you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you click the bell so that every Wednesday at noon Central Time, you'll get to see our show. We always close our show the same way with our dear Terry and her words of wisdom.
We appreciate you guys showing up and supporting and being heard and sharing, and have a great rest of your day.